Okay. Howdy. Hello, Delphius, Ziggy, Child, and Biohazard. Okay. Just got my drink. Got everything I need. Got me controlly. That's what we pros call a controller. So I guess we should get on with this. We got a lot of games to go through. I'm technically already late. I totally didn't forget that I was doing this, but I may have forgotten what time. Luckily, I was reminded. So now we've got a problem that there's no one around who can operate the actual map. So we're gonna have to go sort of by eyeballs. Gonna have to eyeball this. Now the general state is red's winning, green's in second, and blue's in third. No one's particularly close to taking any territory at the moment. I can show you... I can show the map if everyone wants to see that. It looks like this. As you can see, no one's about to score. We've got... I mean, that's irrelevant. I mean, yeah, basically just I can't update this. So this is what the map looks like at the beginning. It's what it's going to look like at the end. but it's not what it's actually going to be at the end. So, we've done the sciencey bit. Let's get to the gamey bit. Kerpa versus Zon. Hopefully they're all wearing the correct colours. Now Kerpa, representing the Royal Knights, using Squirrel, Lizard, Toad, Cam, Boar, 9 against Zon, who is, I believe that's the Penal Club, Penal Legion. What are they called? Oh no, they're the Legion. The Penal Squad is green. Okay, so the Legion. Legion versus Royal Knights. I just realised I can actually check, maybe, if there's some sort of split between Eco, because Kerpa is Eco and Zon is also Eco, so there's only 2 victory points on the line here. No one's going to get double score for being super effective. But Kerpa, a lot of hype around Kerpa this tournament. He's second in command of the whole thing. He's a general. Oh no, wait, that's Marshall is second, right? Yeah, okay. But Kerpa's the Pope, so he's got some soft power, whereas Zon is merely a mercenary. Like me! And the mercenary just took a big win with the Squizzard comp. It's coming in against Pope Kerpa. And, ooh, the Pope is pushing him back. Zon doesn't get anything done there. But Kerpa's gone really hard into army early. He started out doing some early aggression. But maybe oversold on his farms. So he is behind in economy still. He didn't try and do any counterattack, which I think is fair. The cabins would have, well, this cabin would have shot him if he'd come around here, and he was already injured, so he probably couldn't have got much done. And if he came around this way, it's too long with all the water, so he wouldn't be able to accomplish much there. But getting another small victory as Zon tries to do some poking with the lizards and gets swarmed by Kerpa's superior force. When the Fancy Dude takes over. Well, I think Fancy Dude singular is correct. It's perfectly legitimate. Tense. Given that, you know, ultimately, there is one person in charge of each faction, and there's only one that's going to win. Okay. Now, Zon's coming in with a much better army. Massive squirrels. Lizards have gone. Kerpa's got a more balanced army. Toads, lizards, and squirrels. I don't know who took the mill there to try and tank with it, but it didn't last long either way. It was destroyed before I could see what colour it was. Okay, and that fight goes slightly in Kerpa's favour. Not hugely. Now, the one thing Zon has got going for him at the moment is he's got a base already up with a farm building. Kerpa's going to need to expand or attack. We've crossed the 4-minute mark, so not long until fallowing starts to happen. And we finally see Zon willing to tech up. He's got a pretty defendable position here on the high ground with a nice big moat around it. It does mean that he's going to struggle to ever push out of here. So if he can't do something with just these 2 bases, then Kerpa's going to get all of this to himself. So Kerpa kind of wants to take it long. I mean, Zon could take this base, but it's going to be kind of tricky to defend that. Gerpa trying to get some lizard poking done, but just running into a big clump of squirrels. Hello, Blue Coon. Hello, John. Hello, Lucas. Oh yeah, Catajon is Zon. Got that. Okay. So Zon's sold a farm to get his chameleons up. Whereas Kerpa's gone up 4 farms on his second base. If there was ever a moment for Zon to come in, this would be it. He's got a significantly higher army at the moment. But some good micro from Kerpa. And those chameleons are being kept at the back. And in the reserves, they do go down pretty fast, but they get enough work done maybe? This mill is tanking a lot of damage for Kerpa. He's fighting around the mill very cleverly. And Zon can't really reinforce. I think Kerpa's got this now with his superior economy. He's got double the income. He managed to... He was quite greedy with this base, but he managed to hold. So that risk is really going to pay off now. Okay, so Zon's trying to catch up. It's possible the cams let him defend, but he's really far behind at the moment. He was already behind in eco. Now he's trying to just scrape together an army. Kerpa moving in the squirrels first again, in the lizards next. This time the chameleon gets up at the front, but there's only one of them. The other one comes out slightly too late. Not sure if it would have mattered. Kerpa takes the first game. Okay, so that's 1-0 to the Royal Knights. Moving on to game 2, and it looks like both players are sticking with the same loadouts. And this map is a bit curious. I wonder how safe this mill is going to be for Zon. It's the first thing that stands out to me. You can take this mill, and Kerpa can take this mill. And... oh no, Kerpa can't take this mill. There's no pathway. So these 2 mills probably go to Zon as well. Oh, we're seeing a double. 5-farm double Warren coming out from Zon. Scouted out pretty well by Kerpa, and he'd already put down a Warren himself. So I don't think this is going to get anything done. It's weird, you're seeing a lot more early aggression, like people willing to just throw down a Warren and see what they can pick off these days. I don't know why particularly. I imagine maybe it's because mines are not as prevalent, or maybe it's simply because it's a matter of expectation, where it's not been a tactic for long enough that now you can really catch people off guard with it. Oh, and a quick set of chameleons. 6-farm chameleon. Zon's going super aggressive here. He doesn't really need to, I don't think. I'm curious why. He's got the more mills. Does he know that? He's been down here. He's seen that there's no way through here on his mini-map. Assuming he's looking at that. Man, he is really far behind in eco. Now, Kerper hasn't scouted the tier 2. That could be big. I almost feel like Zon's probably going to have to win with this attack. He's got a much better army. Or should do, anyway. I mean, Kerper's got 3 more squirrels, but that's against 2 chameleons. Zon isn't attacking. Was this a defensive early tier 2? It seems like he wasn't confident about holding this position. And that's why he put down, like, the really early army. But this might be a mistake. As he's going to let Kerper build up his own tier 2 now. If he'd moved in directly, he could have caught Kerper when he had no chameleons. Okay, well, economies are evening up. Last game, what took it was the diversity of Kerper's forces. The Squizzard, with the toads backing them up, did really well. It might not work so well this time, as Zon's got his own diversity. And he's going for the wolf. I think it's a fair time to go for it when you've got sort of half farms on your second base. The question is, can he hold? Kerper hasn't seen it. So if Kerper scouts it, could be a problem. But Zon's playing this well. He's rallying around his lizards and chameleons, like, just in sight of Kerper. He's not pushing in, but he's threatening it enough that Kerper doesn't feel safe leaving his base to do a big scout. He finally gets out, but he only scouts the base, he doesn't scout beyond it. And because Kerper, like, even if Kerper's counting food through the army, since the chameleons are cloaked, he's not necessarily going to be able to tell that Zon's down on food. Okay, Zon selling a few warrens to try and get his wolf, accidentally placing them again, but he's got it building now. But he is so far behind on income. If Kerper moves in, and it looks like that's what Kerper wants to do. Okay, 25 seconds for the wolf. Man, those toad hits were pretty good. Those chameleons just get blasted down. And this wolf isn't going to have anything to buff. Sell that chameleon warren, you're never going to build those in time. Or sell something. Okay, he's selling these warrens. Fortunately, that's quite a lot. He's got the wolf. Comebacks are possible with a wolf, but he's not got income. He's not got army. I don't know if he can do this. He's just going to get overwhelmed. And it looks like Kerper's going to take this 2-0. The wolf goes down. And that was really Zon's one ace in the hole. That's GG. 2 points for blue. Kerper brings them a bit more safety. Takes a couple of points away from red. Blue needs to mount a comeback of epic proportions if they want to win this game. But they have taken a couple points off the leader. Okay. Now, it feels weird going to match 4 after match 2, but that is where we're going. That is Red Dino versus Epicosity. Both are attack types, so no super effective bonus. Red Dino is a mercenary fighting for the penal squad, and Epicosity is a minister fighting for the Royal Knights. So it's blue versus green. In game 2, which is actually game 4. I don't know much about Epicosity as a player. Zon was off for a while. That would explain why I haven't seen him. And there's a cat in my room. Whatever, I guess we just leave it. Okay, Squirrel, Pigeon, Mole, Falcon, Cam, Boar from Epicosity against Squirrel, Lizard, Ferret, Falcon, Fox, Mine. So, we're seeing some more army diversity, which I like. There was a couple of weeks ago where everyone was fearing that it was going to be just Skunk, Cam, Falcon all the way through, but that's not the case. We're seeing more early aggression as well. Both players going for early doubles. It happens, Zon. It happens. I had something similar happen to me against this guy. Dino really going hard on this aggression. 3 Squirrel Warren put down. Epicosity is going to hold with 6. Oh, but his commander goes down. That's a really bad timing. His army does alright, actually. He holds on. He might be able to do this. He is getting a better economy. He'll have the pigs backing him up. The army difference hasn't changed much. Okay, finally Dino comes in, and it looks like he gets 1 farm. But even with that 1 farm, Epicosity's still ahead in eco. But what is Epicosity doing? Why is he pulling his units so far forward? Well, congrats on the job, Zon. Life gets in the way. I believe that's the quote. Oh, that Warren tanking as much as it can. These moles coming out. This mine is going to do some damage. Maybe not enough. No, it was enough to hold the line. I think they're losing that Warren is a big blow, because Epicosity still has the economic advantage, but it's only 1 Warren, only 1 farm. I just worry that he's not going to have time to rebuild a Warren here and get more squirrels out before he gets overrun. He's got quite a few moles though. He needs to protect this pig. Okay. These fights are going pretty evenly. And even should eventually win it for Epicosity, as he's got the better eco. But is he going to walk over the mine again? No. Oh, that's good. He just brings the mole forward. It's 20 for 20. He's still got plenty of squirrels left. Okay, well, Dino did finally get down its 6th farm. So, economy is even again. Although, Epicosity is now going up to 7. It's pretty crazy. Like, we're only, like, 40 seconds away from fallowing. and players still haven't got up to 8 farms. Okay, Epicosity's coming in. I don't know if this is going to work. These Warrens are going to be tanking so much, and there's no longer any moles on the front line to tank. That fight goes very much in Dino's favour. Epicosity really needs an army together quickly. Don't know if he can hold here. He might be losing this pig. No, he just holds on. And there we go. We've hit the 5-minute mark. Farms are fallowing. It's now 2-3. Moles are still pretty tanky. They're still noticeably tanky units. It's just they're not, you know, unbearably so. Okay, another fight going in Dino's favour. It's bad news for Epicosity. He's trying to expand. He's still got a farm he can take on his main, so I don't think that was the wisest decision. Especially in a game where the margins are so tight. I think this is going to be another pig gone. And that could be... oh, this could be it. Just the fact that all the engagements have happened around Epicosity's base has been enough, I think, to give Dino the edge. But Epicosity has got a second base up. He's putting another farm on it. But that's really stalling his army production. And I don't know if he's going to be able to hold with just 3 squirrels and 1 mole. Okay, Dino isn't pushing straight in. He could, probably. And this is good for Epicosity. He's got enough time to rebuild. He's back ahead on Eco. Still a while before this farm fellows out. Dino's just taken it. I guess it makes sense why Dino didn't want to push in. At this point, one bad fight would ruin you. I think Epicosity is being a bit greedy here, going for the extra farm. I think he really should go for some more tier 1. I think he needs more squirrels. So, I mean, that army value isn't insurmountable. How does Blue have less eco? Oh, because his final farm here fellowed out. Okay, Dino's got to figure out that there's a base somewhere. And he's surely going to check here. And that's going to change. He doesn't scout it, but he must figure it out, right? Like, he's got... like, Epicosity hasn't put down... has got no farms on this base and hasn't put down a warren in ages. He's got to figure it out. Okay, but this now makes more sense from Epicosity on the vision that this game would go on this long. Alright, Dino scouts it. Epicosity's not going to have the warrens to tank. Or the pigs to help shoot. And I think this is a death blow. Dino simply has too much tier 1. But damn, this was a tight game. That was a close one. That was another sort of 10-minute early game type. How many points are on the line here? It's only 1 point apiece, so this won't decide anything. This isn't going to flip any territory. But Blue needs all the points it can get at the moment. So, looks like we got the same loadouts. Who are the 4 horsemen of TNT? Is on. Man, this is a tough base for Epicosity. Like, defendable with all this water, but where's he expanding to? I guess here? But Dino can just run around with his lizards then. I mean, I guess it's going to take a while. If Epicosity puts down some mines over here, and between the mines and the cabin, it's going to take Dino. Dino's going to take some damage, and it's going to have to wade through all this water, so... But Epicosity needs to wade through all of this water, so I don't know if that will actually help. Gentle guy, Aralu. Oh yeah, okay. That would be fun. Gentleman, this guy, Haru, and Aralu. Okay, so this game, it looks like we're actually going to get up to 8 farms. And because he's going for 2 warrens again, I've seen so many people do that just for security's sake. He could definitely afford to sell one of those. Like, it's going to take... Dino's only got 1 warren, and it's going to take him forever to walk all the way over here. There's so much water on the map. No one's getting anywhere quickly. In fact, I'd consider rushing a tier 3. If I was either of these players, simply because it's such a pain to attack anywhere. Okay, but instead Dino's going for the ferrets, which, you know, could work. Ferrets work quite well with water because it makes it harder for units to actually maneuver out the way of their shells. And it's much harder to actually rush down the ferrets when you're walking slowly through water. Okay, it's got the scout off on them. The army value is pretty good for Dino at the moment. And Epicosity's just going to come in. He's getting the chase down, but he looks like he could be getting baited into the mines. The mines go off on 1 injured mole though, so it's not that big a deal. And Epicosity is just chasing this ferret down. Is he going to get it? He's not. The mine daze saves that ferret at 1 HP. And that is a big loss for Epicosity on the counter-attack. Ah. Alright. Epicosity's trying to come in again, but this time there are 2 ferrets up. His army is way smaller, and I don't think he can take this now. Once you fall behind against ferrets, it's really hard to catch up. The ferrets now are on the high ground, shelling farms and warrens. Epic is doing what he can. Trying to rally as much forces as possible. He needs either a chameleon or a falcon. I've heard people say that ferrets might actually be quite good against cams now. I kind of believe it. Like, the cams tend to get hit pretty commonly with the ferret shells, and it's hard for them to dodge out the way while fighting, which means they just end up soaking up damage. Epicosity's just trying to mass tier 1 his way through this. Dino's getting a second set of ferrets. Epic is doing what he can, and he's not doing badly at it, but he's just not got enough stuff. He needs time. He's put his 2 farms down, but he's going to lose his mill. We're seeing ferrets run a lot more now, so they're clearly, you know, okay. Which is strange, given that lizards are more prevalent in the meta. But maybe lizards comboing with ferrets helps them more than lizards countering ferrets hurts them. So Epicosity is fighting it out. I don't think he can win at this point unless Dino really throws, but no point surrendering on your last point. Fight it till the end. And unfortunately for Blue, they take another loss, but it's only for 1 point. It's a relatively small loss, so, well, it is as small as it can get. So, no territories flipping for anyone at the moment. Penal Squad are close to taking one off Blue, and Royal Knights are close to taking one off the Legion. Okay. Mishi versus Haru. So, we got Mishi, the leader of the Penal Squad, against Haru, the Marshal of the Royal Knights. So two high-ranking players here, both in the game and, well, in the game within a game. Haru stands to get double points here, as Mishi is the leader. So if he can take down Mishi, he will get 6 points for the Royal Knights. 6. Which is nearly enough to flip a territory from green to blue. Not quite enough. Green is 8 points up on the Royal Knights. Or rather, green has like 8 points in that territory game. So 6 is going to take them within 2. I'm excited to see how this game goes. Before I do, is there anything I need to respond to in chat? Lizard Ferret is great. Pressure to shoot without being shot. Damage is map dependent. Ferrets are basically, are ferrets good or not? The eternal question. And I think the stats support that they're better than they used to be, because people actually use them. Top tier does usually mean boring. Lucas. Mole man. Mole skunk falcon man. Squirrel pigeon mole skunk falcon man. Anyway, Mishi versus Haru. Okay, so we've got Haru, one of the most, like, I'm going to say one of the most meta players in the game, but he's actually kind of not. Like, Haru's always had his own distinct style where he goes with multiple tier 1s, like, always is a lot more tier 1 heavy than almost anyone else. Mishi just does whatever the hell he wants. And he somehow manages to make it work. Mishi is like older Koloru, where he just does stuff, and you can see that in his loadouts. Squirrel, lizard, falcon, fox, wire, balloon. So, the squirrel, lizard, falcon makes sense. The fox isn't. I mean, Fox against Haru, known for his tier 1 play. Okay. The barbed wire and balloon combo is a bit strange. I haven't seen many people use barbed wire since the change. But no one was using it before either, so I guess I see it more. Still not a lot. Either way, Haru's going with Squirrel, Lizard, Toad, Falcon, Skunk, Chameleon. 3 tier 1, 3 tier 2. Nice and simple. Straightforward. Haru tends to take straightforward decks and just plays them really well. Okay. So the balloon's going to be quite useful here for Mishi. It's going to give him vision on this high ground. It's going to basically just shut down any attempts at lizard run-bys because he'll be able to see them. At the moment it's lizard versus squirrel, and the lizard's got an advantage. Mishi went for slightly more squirrels. Haru taking down the campfire because he knows it's going to be a problem if he tries to attack. Mishi going really hard on the farms. Well, yes, Cam Skunk Falcon, but also Squirrel Lizard Toad. Toad especially, from Haru. And he is the first person this entire stream to take Falcon Skunk Cam. So, you know, let's not brush him off at boring. He is running a unique deck. Ooh, and Mishi's trying to come in. I'm pretty sure Haru saw that, but is he going to have time to do anything? The answer is, he did, and he didn't. He did see it, he didn't have time to do anything. So that's 2 farms down. 6 lizards for 2 farms. You'll take that trade. It might almost be better for Haru to move in, but then again, you've got to worry about the base trade possibilities there. That was 12 lizards. That would be enough to take down a base. I don't know if it's enough to take down 2. I don't think it isn't. I don't think it isn't means I think it is. So what I do mean is that I don't think that it is. Or that I think that it is not. Now, 16 lizards is definitely enough. That base is gone. And Haru's going to have to push in. He's got the cams to burst through the barbed wire nice and quick. He's only got a couple... Oh, he doesn't quite save that chameleon. And now the lizard's coming in. Haru just needs a bit of time to regather his army. He can focus down this Falcon, get some good toad hits. The toad hits aren't quite good enough. And now this is looking really bad for Haru. Man, I'm surprised Haru fell for that. He's a pretty experienced player. I would have thought he'd maybe leave his chameleons here or something to guard against the lizard run-by. I don't think Haru can win this now. He's got such a smaller army and he's got a lower economy, so he's trying to catch up on both fronts. He surrenders. Fair enough. Hopefully he won't surrender too quickly. That has been a problem for Haru before. I remember doing the Pocket Bot Cup with U-Blue, where he surrendered, like, while he was winning a base race. That against, I think it was Gentleman. That was mental. Okay, so Haru really needs to win this for the Royal Knights to start making their comeback. There's actually quite a lot of riding on this. Especially because this will... The 3 victory points that Mishi gets will actually flip another territory. It will fill up the bar green with the one they won last game. Okay, same loadouts on both players. but a lot of pressure on Haru. Okay. Haru does have the map advantage here. That is true. Nice, safe 2 bases. Much harder for Mishi to do any lizard run-bys. I mean, I guess Mishi has these 2 bases that aren't really unsafe. Does spread him out a lot. Haru can do run-bys here. And here. Whereas it's much harder for Mishi to run across here due to the water and the high ground. It's easier for Haru to just leave part of his army here and part of his army here and block off both routes and still have time to respond if he sees Mishi mustering his forces to try and break down one point. And I really don't think that this map is so unfair. I don't think this map is particularly unfair at all. It's Haru favoured, Haru's safer, but both players have 3 mills, and they're about as spread out. Okay, Mishi's coming in. He'll probably get this farm at the bottom here. These squirrels are on the wrong side. But, oh, he gets a second as well. I'm surprised that the squirrels didn't clear that up. But now, the counterattack is coming in. And, oh, Haru has so much more squirrels. And lizards aren't good on defense. Haru could do some real damage here. And I'm not expecting Haru to mess up his micro. One woman down. This is the second woman gone. That's 3. Mishi has no army, no way to build army. He went so hard on farms on that second base. Oh, and 1-1. We see the strength and the weakness of lizard run-bys. They leave you very open to counterattacks. But man, when they work, do they really work. Alright, so we're down to the last game. 6 points riding on this for Haru. 3 for Mishi. And with the state of the map at the moment, the Royal Knights are really going to struggle to mount a comeback if they don't get the 6 points on offer here. Then they're really going to struggle. They need to take the big lumps of points whenever they come up. Mishi swapping into a 1-base strategy would actually be kind of smart at the moment. It would throw off Haru if Haru's expecting another expand into 4 farms. But he'd also be able to scout it. And I feel like in a 1-base play, the guy with more tier 1 is going to win. And I don't think you beat Haru in a tier 1 v tier 1. Haru is genuinely one of the best tier 1 players, maybe the best tier 1 player out there. Okay. Map looks alright. Haru's gonna struggle a bit more to take a 3rd base, but if he does take a 3rd, then he gets a 4th, so a bit more of a risk, but a bit more of a payoff. Which, you know, I think makes it fair. This map isn't symmetrical, but I do think it is balanced. Haru rarely tier 3s. He used to either do Wolf or Owl sometimes. Because the option for, like... Because one of the ways you would guard against his tier 1 would be to, you know, just really turtle up. But he seems to just use Mass Falcon as his tier 3 at the moment. And Mass Falcon is probably the best tier 3 in the game. Has been for a while. So... no reason to change there. Speaking of tier 3, Fox went down, but Haru scouted it very quickly. He's looking for a way in. He doesn't have the numbers at the moment to push, but maybe he could just do enough damage? Don't know. I think Haru's safer just going up on Eco. And then just massing, like, Squirrel Lizard. Okay, he's missed his opportunity. He's going for cams. I don't know if I'd go for tier 2 here. Haru is a better player than me, so... And cams will break through this barbed wire. But they're not going to be out in time. Well, I guess he can do a chameleon trap on the Fox. This is a very well executed Fox rush. The Fox is out and Mishi isn't really behind. He's actually ahead on army value thanks to all this barbed wire. But man, there's a lot of tier 1 for Haru. That Fox could get... and 6 chameleons coming out. Okay, I wasn't agreeing with just 2 chameleons, but now that he's on 6... Oh, the Fox walks around the chameleon trap. Sneaky bugger. But now, I think it might be caught. Yep, the Fox is down. 2 farms for a Fox? I think I'd take that trade. And Haru was already ahead in income, so he's got, you know, a bit of cushion to work with. And second Fox is coming up for Mishi. But Haru's got his moment to come in. Barbed wire be damned. 6 chameleons is a lot of health. He's just destroying all the Warrens, which, you know, I think is a fair decision. That Fox isn't going to do much by itself. As long as Haru can keep an army alive when this Fox comes out. Okay, there's enough tier 1 here, and this Fox has nowhere to run. This Fox is cornered. Oh dear. Okay. The pigs are trying to help. Oh, he just gets it. And a third Fox is on the way. We're not seeing any surrender here from Mishi. This is a type of game he really needs to fight out to the end. He needs every hope. But it looks like Haru's going to do it. Mishi is running a low on farms. Low on army. I mean, as long as you've got a tier 3, you've got a chance. A Fox can poke your way back into the game, but this is gonna be difficult for Mishi. This is gonna take some really good Fox play. That's even if the Fox gets out. Frankly, I think he might be better off selling the Falcons. Oh, and Mishi! I think Mishi should have held on while he still had the Fox to see what he could have done. But he was basically out of that game at that point. The Fox didn't have enough room to maneuver to really do anything, and it would have been chased down by the lizards. That economic advantage is so huge that Haru would basically need to lose all his farms. And Blue does it. Blue makes a big comeback. Now, there's not enough to flip the Penal Squad territory, but it's putting them back in the running. They got 2 from the Legion, so they're 3 away from getting a territory there. They lost 1 to the Penal Squad, but then gained 6, so they're up 5. So they're only 1 away from flipping the Penal Squad. If the Royal Knights can win a couple more games, they'll actually flip a territory from each player. And that'll bring them from 6 to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They'll take green down to 7. And red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. From 12 to 11. So red would still be in the lead. But the Royal Knights would overtake the Penal Squad. Perhaps the King can make a comeback. Okay, so those aren't all the games. Those are the games with territory on the line. But we do have the Marauder matches, which is essentially, as far as I'm aware, an advert. A way for the all of the mercenaries to show off their skills. We got some good ones. Rubber Gub versus Kaiserys. A couple of new players there. Kaiserys not that new, but Rubber Gub, don't recognise that name at all. Fermar versus Pigston. Pigston I know is an old player who's making his way back. Fermar, I kind of want to... I've definitely heard the name Fermar before, but I can't remember where. Cyanide versus Z. Again, I swear I've heard those names before. I think these might be old players. Child versus E308. I gotta be honest, I don't know who episode 308 is. And we apparently don't have Marauder Match 5. But Marauder Match 6 is Onyx versus Gentleman. Let me just check that's all of them. Is there no 5? Yeah, there's just no 5. Okay. So, I can do as many of these as I want, and since we're only an hour in, I think I'll just do all of them. Maybe if, like, we get down to Cyanide and it's taken like 3 hours, 2 hours, then I'll consider stopping. But I'd like to see Onyx vs Gentleman. I think that's definitely the... But I want to see this game, but I also know that we've got to save it for last. So there's going to be a reward at the end. Okay. 8-year-old Vin Diesel, aka Rubber Gub, against Kaiserys. Now, I don't think there's any victory points on the lines here. So, the characters don't really display anything but where their allegiances may lie. Of course, being mercenaries, their ultimate allegiance is to cash. To cold, hard meat. Which might be actual meat, or it might just be the currency. It could be both, to be fair. It seems like everything in Vishal runs on meat. It is a meat-based economy. They do get 5 meat for winning this. So there are reasons to, like, take this seriously if you're a merc. Okay, so we got Squirrel Pigeon, Falcon Skunk Cam, Owl from Vin Diesel, from Rubber Dub, and Lizard Pigeon, Falcon Skunk, Badger Mine from Kaiserus. Now, I'm pretty sure Kaiserus used to do Lizard Boar. It's interesting that he's changed over to Badger. If I'm thinking of the right player, I'm pretty sure that was Kaiserus who used to do that. Like, caught a lot of people off guard. Got some good wins. And Onyx hasn't put in the sleeping face for someone running Falcon Skunk Cam, so we're off to a good start here. And it's always fun to see someone take a loadout with no squirrel. I mean, this is going to be a real test for lizards. How does raw lizard fare against raw squirrel? It's a bit of a risk-taking, lizards. Toads and moles may have got nerfed, but they're still there. But he seems to have... he's gambled correctly. There's only squirrels on tier 1 for Rubadub. There are also chameleons and skunks, but he's got alternative answers to that. And, I mean, those can be overcome with enough lizards. Much easier than with enough squirrels. Or perhaps it'd be easier to say enough lizards to overcome them is lower than the equivalent number of squirrels. I didn't really make it sound any simpler. Okay, well, unfortunately for Kaiserus at the moment, the lizards aren't really able to do much. There aren't a lot of paths around. This base in particular is very defendable. Whereas Kaiser's bases are a lot more open. Especially with this high ground here. Kaiserus... I really think Kaiserus should just put a couple of mines up here just so he's got some vision. Or get some pigeons. Kaiser has scouted the greedy base. He knows there's farms on it, but he's not being greedy himself. He might be saving up for a tier 3. No, he's just being moderately greedy. Like, Kaiserus has way too much money in lizards at the moment. Oh, or does he? If he goes round and gets something done, then it's not too many at all. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Vin Diesel's seen this. And Kaiserus doesn't really do anything. He just sort of throws away a few lizards. And 8-year-old Vin Diesel going up to 4 cams and 2 skunks. That will... like, lizards are good against tier 2, but they're not that good against tier 2. I don't think they'll be able to take that much anti-tier 1. And Kaiserus still just going for lizards. He's just doing a pile. But even Pyle would think that maybe this is a bit excessive. No, he wouldn't. But Pyle probably would have gone for more farms. And Pyle probably would have gone for a badger about, 4 minutes ago. I don't think Kaiserus is a new Cholera. I think he's much more similar to Pyle. I don't think you can call someone the new Cholera until they start taking arty in at least, 60% of their games. Okay, Kaiserus needs to get some tier 3 up, because there's an owl coming, and the owl with the 4 cams is gonna just moller this group of lizards. There's 6 falcons though. It's gonna make the badger, maybe struggle quite a bit. But he could easily be getting 2 badgers or 3 even. Like, lizards aren't good on defense, but with this many mines and this many lizards, you can hold. that third base is so exposed. Kaiser hasn't actually scouted it. I would expect Kaiser to just go in on that as soon as he sees it. I mean, a full 8 farms on it. Okay, he's seen it now. He's got to do this. Like, this run around has to happen. Okay. Kaiser is going in. Vin Diesel's coming in with the chameleons. Don't go back. He's going back. I don't think this is... Well, I guess if the chameleons got on this base, then that's a big problem. You can get the campfire at the very least. And he does pick off these chameleons in the end, so not a complete loss. You know, it's no 8 farm mill, but it's something. And he can still go back. In fact, this might be better. Go in, go in! The chameleons are gone. They're the best counter. And for some reason, Rubber Dub just isn't guarding this. Don't worry about the pigs, just go for the mill, go for the mill, go for the mill. Go for the mill! Go for the mill! What are you doing? No! I mean, it's very rare that you can get 3 farms for like 2 lizards and consider that a bad trade, but that was a bad trade. He could have just wiped out most of Diesel's economy. Now, with these mice coming in, how are these lizards going to do? They're dropping like flies. Oh, he gets the owl. That is not nothing. But he doesn't have enough lizards anymore. He can't resupply. He doesn't have enough economy. Whereas Vin Diesel still has enough economy because he's got all of these farms. Man, Vin Diesel would be on 2 farms at the moment. He would not be able to have resupplied any of that. That was a... I'm really surprised Kaiserus made that mistake. That was far too conservative. He needed to go in on that mill. That mill was such a juicy target. And he just left it. But he was close to holding with the lizards. But he's abandoning them. Going for squirrel, pigeon, mole, skunk cam mine. Abandoning the lizards, abandoning the badger. Vin Diesel's changing as well. Squirrel, pigeon, mole, falcon cam, badger. So the decks have got a lot more standardized here in this game. Well, I guess not Vin Diesel so much. But definitely Kaiser's. And, oh, we got a mole rush. A scouted mole rush. But Vin Diesel's got a game in hand to play with. He could go in, he could get this farm. This building farm. Okay. So he loses a grand total of 3 food there. I don't know, I think he had enough time to actually, you know, go in and do some stuff. If he hadn't sold the first mole warren, he would have been on 4 or 5 moles. He could have done some serious damage. Yeah, more important is the fact that Kaiser was able to be a farm ahead for all that time. Right, all that time spent with an eco advantage is going to add up. Now, if this game goes on long enough that all these farms fallow out, then you can probably argue that it didn't really matter in the long run, because all the farms got their full value anyway. but that's far off in the future. It's not an insurmountable lead, but it's not nothing. As you can see now, Kaiserus is able to go straight into tier 2, whereas Vin Diesel is still building up his eco. He can't really sell down on squirrels like he'd probably want to, because otherwise Kaiser could come in. Alright. Vin Diesel's got one chameleon. He's going hard on farm to try and catch up, but he's probably pushing his luck a bit too hard here. Oh, but Kaiserus' commander goes down. If Vin Diesel would move out of the skunk gas, that probably could have mattered. But Vin Diesel didn't micro particularly well there. I won't be too harsh, because I think this is either an old player coming back or a new player coming in. So either rust or inexperience showing there. And he did hold the first attack. But now, oh, he sells the chameleons when his... he sold the chameleon Warren, which meant he lost the chameleon. But the chameleon was in a position to do some good work there. Coming in with Mole, Skunk, Pigeon, the old this guy push, this push. And it's getting forced back by just raw squirrel. Eight-year-old Vin Diesel might still be able to do this, but he's running very low on economy. If he can get one of these skunks though, Kaiserus is not exactly flush with cash himself. Okay, but now the reinforcements come in. The second wave attacks, and I think that might be a wave too much for Vin Diesel. That was a bit of an overextend. So we're gonna go 1-1. Bless him. He's trying. I respect the effort. I don't think it's going to matter. Is this mill even going to get up in time? No. Oh, Dark Moon Warrior, thank you for the follow. And nice name. Bit edgy, but pretty good. Okay, so we're on game 3 here, and Rubber Dub is changing up his deck again. Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon, Ferret, Falcon, Badger. It's not a huge change, but the skunks are gone, the ferrets are in, he's got some toads. That's not nothing. Bit edgy is alright. You can't have no edge. You gotta have an edge. Edges are what define you, quite literally. Okay, so Kaiserus is running the same deck, except he's taken out the Badger and put in some mines, so a bit more defensively minded. I think... If Diesel can get out the Falcons and deal with Kaiserus' skunks, then he'll probably have a shot. I don't know how much ferret poking he'll be able to do. This is a bit of an unusual base, but I kind of like it. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a hidden expand or an aggressive expansion, but either way, it's really ballsy. I'd like to see how this works, because Kaiserus doesn't really have any reason to scout here, because only an insane person would take a mill right there. It's not like, obviously, Diesel is missing food. He sticks 2 farms on it. If he can survive this initial assault, like Kaiserus, I imagine would push once he gets these skunks. But if he can withstand that push, then he could be, and he could be in the money here. I just hope he doesn't walk his units into the mines. He's going to need all of them if he's going to hold. You can't put your squirrels here. Squirrels need to move. They're on the low ground. This is not a safe position. Oh my god, he's just running them over to his second base. That is a strange idea. But he gets a flank. He walks into the mines, which isn't so good. But he is able to kill a skunk. Kill most of the squirrels. He put down a 3rd farm, the mad lad. And he's getting ferrets out as well. I mean, the longer this goes, the better. But he's not putting down more farms, is he? Oh my god. This is so greedy. This is greedy even by my standards. Kaiser still hasn't scouted there. Oh, the ferret planning big shots on the skunks. That decided that fight before it even started. The skunks weren't able to tank in that at all. And now, Vin Diesel's in a really good spot. He's got so much work. He's got so much out of this base. That was at about 2 minutes, so he's making profit. Is he going to give the game away by coming from this direction? No. He's gone up to 8 farms here. Like, he is going to be rolling in cash. But he's got nearly half the army. So, he's going to have to hold. Some of that army is going to be mines. But we've got the classic this guy push. Oh, losing that ferret is a big blow. But maybe not big enough. He can take a few big blows. Farms have fallowed out. So now Kaiser is on 4 farms. He's bound to think he's winning. He's won the fight, so he's gonna think he's winning, but he has no idea what this economy is. He's gonna presumably figure it out eventually, but it's starting to get a little too late. I think Kaiserus can really only manage 1 big attack. And it looks like Diesel has the advantage here. He gets those toad pits in. There's only 1 mole. Skunk's doing good work here. Or sorry, Skunk singular. One of the ferrets goes down again, but 8-year-old is gonna have... I've called him like 5 different names, but he's gonna have another army ready to go by the time Kaiser pushes in. And Kaiser has got to be confused about where he's getting all the money from. Okay, another ferret goes down. Like, Vin Diesel's got a good economy, but it's not infinite. It's possible that maybe Kaiser just slowly grinds him down with this skunk against the mass squirrel. But Kaiser Kaiser's in starvation mode. He's got nothing building. He needs to sell some warrens. I'm not sure why he hasn't. But it looks like the skunk's finally going down. The hero skunk who got so much work done. And that, one of the ballsiest fucking secret bases I have ever seen in my life, takes a game. It is unbelievable that he got away with that. And Kaiser has never even scouted it. Like, Kaiser has ended that game not knowing where where all that economy was coming from. Like, he must have gone straight into the replay to check that. That's what I would have done. But Rubber Cub takes it in a fairly strong showing. I'm pretty sure I've seen the name 8-year-old Vin Diesel like ages ago. But even then, I don't remember if he was like a big player. I'm pretty sure he's an old player coming back. Speaking of old players coming back, Firma versus Pigston. Old players coming back. Let's see if there's gonna be a lot of rust. Or if they've got all their joints well oiled. Okay, Squirrel, Mole, Falcon, Cam, Owl, Wire against Squirrel, Toad, Skunk, Snake, Fox, Mine. Okay, so it looks like Firma's got the advantage here with the Fox. That's a good matchup against the Snake. Sorry, with the Owl. That's a good matchup against the Fox and the Snake. And against the Tier 1. Not quite so good against the Skunks, but because Pigston has no pigeons, Firma will eventually be able to grind him down with an Owl. Is this a bad map, really? This is pretty bad. The fact that there's no connecting here, so this mill is like, it's just as likely that Firma will take it as Pigston. That actually makes this a lot worse. Like, I just assumed there was some connecting point here. But no, he has to go all the way around here. So really, Pigston gets this 1 mil. That has to push right into like where Firma was building his warrens, and Firma gets all of that. He definitely gets all of these. And if I was Pigston, I'd still make an effort to take this, because if Firma tries and moves around, you can threaten a push in, but like that's really risky. That's pretty hard to hold safely. Okay, well, Pigston's coming in. He's got the army advantage at the moment. A chameleon is going to come up just in time to save that chameleon Warren, save his home. And now it's going to get some serious damage as Pigston just turns into it. True, Firma hasn't scouted this mill yet. Be unlikely that he would. Okay. Chameleon was at half health there. Fermar gets 3 food back from the mill. The mill tanking doesn't seem to work for him. Or at least didn't work for him that time. He's trying to hold on with his squirrel cam. He should be able to do it. He's got a second cam on the way. Okay. Let's look at the graphs here. Army is even. Both players have taken some big knocks. Income's even. This looks like a pretty fair game at the moment. I'd probably give it to Fermar just for having the cams, but because that's more because Pixton doesn't have anything to counter them yet. And the Toads might be enough. If those Toads get some good hits, they do more single target damage now, so they're not terrible at bursting down chameleons. Case in point. And Pixton actually retreats there, where I kind of think he was winning that fight. I think that was a bit of a poor retreat. Bringing the Toads in. Actually getting some decent shots. And he surrenders. I'm not entirely sure that was warranted. Incomes were the same and he was only slightly behind on Army. Okay. I guess we go on to game 2. That surrender surprises me. I am thinking about it, Pixton. I don't have an answer. Like, there was little to be lost by trying to fight that out, and it wasn't inconceivable. It was very conceivable that that you came back from that defeat. You'd got the Warren. If you retreated back to your... the chameleons would be a problem, but if you retreated back to your Warrens, then you could hold. Onyx is called Map Gen is Cancer at the moment, yes. Ooh, Dixon's bringing out the boar. Did he have the ball last game? I don't think he did. I don't think Fermar had the wire. That was like 3 names ago. Well, you can't blame us when you change your name so regularly for not keeping up. Okay, now this map, this one's interesting because it's fair. 3 mills in similar formations, but very close together. If they expand here and here, then they're going to be pressed right up against them. Right up against each other. Sorry, there was no... them wasn't referring to anybody. Okay, Snake's coming out for Pixton this time. I think Snake should be able to do well on this map and be able to poke. Even this high ground, I mean, the high ground's good for Fermar, but Pixton's other option for Mill is safer than Fermar's other option for a mill. So I still think this map is pretty balanced, especially because Pigston can get on the high ground here. I kind of like the way this map looks from a from just a gameplay perspective. Okay. Snakes tend to beat cams, but they do need some support. Okay, it looks like he wants to go in. Big toad hits on that. On those chameleons. The falcon gets shot instantly. Takes a lot of damage. That's a big win from Pigston. Big series of wins in a row. And that mill's gone. Fermar sells his falcons. Makes sense. They weren't doing much against this loadout. These snakes single-handedly shut down a lot of what Fermar wants to do. Oh, and the commander goes down. Opportunity here. Only going to be one snake, one squirrel. But still, that's one squirrel that Fermar really can't afford to lose for nothing. Okay, much better chameleon tanking there. They tank a lot of damage before the toads get in. These squirrels, I reckon he could take this fight. Shoot down the snake. If you can. Fermar really needs to get this mill, but he needs to focus down the tier 2. And I think he left it a bit too late there. But still, that does give him a chance. What are you doing with that chameleon? The chameleon comes into the fight at half health, and that's your main tank. And Fermar's expansion goes down again, and Fermar taps out. And Pigston takes the game, 2-1. With some solid snake play. A very good map for poking units there. Alright, Cyanide VZ. Gotta admit, I don't know these players. Yeah, you went on to the third game. You surrendered the first one with the toads. Was that the first one? Or was that the second one? Yeah, that was the third game. Hang on. Didn't we? Wasn't that the third? Okay, oh, right, that's the second game. Okay, so it's actually 1-1. Whoops. My bad. Okay, we haven't seen this one. This is a new game between Pigston and Fermar. It is not 2-1, it is 1-all. It might end up being 2-1. It will end up being 2-1. But I don't know to whom. So, pretty good map for Pigston. Mill, 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 close together, on the high ground. One further back here, nice and safe. Firma has this, and possibly this. But both players changing up their loadouts. Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon. Skunk, Cam, Balloon. And it's Squirrel, Toad, Mole, Ferret, Cam, Mine. This is... Oh, this looks bad for Firma. I'll be honest. Ferrets. This is a good map for ferrets. With this high ground, it's going to be tough to push into them. And this high ground isn't that hard for them to push into. He's probably been Ugly Baby longer than he was Heavyset, to be fair. I don't think it's not unreasonable. Okay. Alright, so the most interesting thing going on at the moment is the fact that Pigston's really slow to get his economy up. I'm not sure why. Was he worried about being attacked? Was he looking to attack himself? It's going to slow him down. Jet said this earlier that I didn't really address it, is that getting your farms up earlier, you know, having that earlier eco advantage lets you build further eco advantage quicker. It's not something I really addressed because Jet said it in the chat and there was other stuff going on, but it is true. Pigston taking his campfire. Not taking any of the mills, strangely. Firma, if he can get both of these, if he can get all this tier 2 out, should have a good eco army advantage and be able to move in. Especially considering Pigston's still only on tier 1. Skunk Cam should go through that. Alright, Toad hits. And that Chameleon just wasn't doing anything, and holy crap, Firma gets swarmed. And just instantly surrenders. That one makes a bit more sense. He got shredded in that fight. Not sure why, even. It's a Skunk Gas struggled to put down everything. But prediction rings true. Pigston does win 2-1. Yeah, the mole ran forward. I'm guessing that's drew the Skunk Gas away from the things that it need to be gassing. That's usually how it works. That's the usual theory of taking multiple tier 1 against Skunk. But still, I'm surprised. I wonder how different it would have been if that Chameleon had been at the front of the army instead of the back. If Firma had just waited to get both cams and stick them in the front of his army, that could have held up some units long enough for the Skunk Gas to take effect. But maybe they would have just got, you know, toaded down instantly. I mean, it probably wouldn't have hurt. That 60 food on the... That 120 food on the Chameleons was basically irrelevant in that fight. They didn't do anything. So, it definitely would have been better off if they were in. But, okay. Moving on. Cyanide VZ. Players who I don't know. I'm sure Z used to play this game. I'm not sure about Cyanide. But okay, we got Lizard, Mole, Snake, Boar, Mine, Balloon from Cyanide. Okay, Squirrel, Lizard, Pigeon, Skunk, Badger, Machine Gun. So, with that deck, Cyanide has either never played this game before, or he's like the best of the best. Turning player from released. Okay. So, is he going to know that moles come out of warrens now? He's doing like, this is old school stuff. The double lizard hidden. Boar with no pigeons. Okay, he's not going to get anything out of this. He takes some glancing blows from the cabin, and the squirrels are just hiding behind the warrens with the pigs. Now Cyanide needs to probably put down some mines or something. Or get more lizards, because you can't defend 9 squirrels with only 6 lizards. It doesn't work. If he just moves in when this army is fully built, he'll be able to take out Cyanide fairly easily. Cyanide's going in again. Just when I thought it was safe to have a bite of chocolate. This campfire is a bit of a thorn in Cyanide's side. I would like to see the Lizard Mole combo win. And this game is another one where we're not getting up to 8 farms yet. Okay, Cyanide's coming in. Getting some actually good trades, but now that the squirrels go behind the warrens again, he loses his advantage. I think Squirrel Skunk won't do too well against Mass Lizard. So, Cyanide should be able to hold. At least in theory, he might not have enough numbers to actually hold. And that's a oddly placed turret. I think it would do more good further up. Oh, he's gonna get he gets both skunks. Okay. Z did win that fight, but losing 2 tier 2 is quite a big blow. In fact, Cyanide looks like he wants to go in again. He doesn't want Z to get set up with these defenses, but this campfire has killed so many goddamn lizards. Like, that pig is not neutral at all in this game. That pig is definitely a common folk supporter. Okay, oh, that fight goes a lot better though. And I just noticed this. Z still hasn't taken this farm here, and yet he's got 2 bases. I think Z... he's putting farms down here, so I think he's just made the mistake of not checking his mini-map. And it looks like that's really going to cost him, as this amount of lizards could cause some serious damage. Z is holding on. I think he really needs to put down a machine gun. He's putting down more farms. And the cabin finally dies. And that might be the end. Without the cabin to support, Z's just falling apart in this game. And he goes for more farms. Z, buddy. You're really overestimating how good skunks are against lizards. I know they're anti-tier 1, but they're not this sort of anti-tier 1. And, okay, Z's just supply blocked on everything. He needs to sell something. Probably the skunks. Well, actually, probably a farm. What the fuck, Z? Z. Come on, man. I mean, it's 6 lizards against 6 squirrels, so it's gonna hold. And this might end up working for him. Cyanide, while all of this shit was going on, has managed to expand and put down a bunch of farms. Both players are constantly supply blocked, but Z has managed to get out his skunks again. At least pay for them. He's got out 1. And he is coming ahead in eco. His turtle strat has worked out for now. I imagine this skunk is gonna go down. No, he saves it. He micros it back. But losing the Warren really hurts. If I was Z, I'd probably start going for my own lizards. He's going for more squirrels. I think he would be helped by he's getting like 1 or 2 lizard warrens. And I really think he needs a turret. Because these warrens are so far forward. Well, comparatively. You can't afford to keep losing them. Then again, he is holding. He is using the tanking. I think Z... I mean, Z is starting to pull ahead. Okay, Cyanide. If he just put down... If he could get down a balloon here, that would basically shut off the, like, the rest of the map. But he just keeps coming in and picking off warrens, and... I mean, 60 food a pop, it's not nothing. But I think he'd be better served. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Would you put down anything but lizards if you were Cyanide in this situation? I think, like, against Z's army, lizards make sense. But attacking into this army when they're on the warrens doesn't. I think what Cyanide needs to do is just put down some defenses and just eco up really greedily. Like, take another base, which is what he's doing now. But I'm surprised this game's still going on. Okay, Cyanide needs to just stop attacking. He needs to cool his heels. Cool his head. And he's going in again. And it's just getting worse and worse each time. Now that there's a decent number of squirrels set up with the skunks, it's just harder and harder for Cyanide to get anything done. And here, Z is really pulling ahead with the 4 farms. And it looks like he wants to go for a badger. He is. He might have oversold. A boar? Yeah, tier 3. Would have worked. Okay. So this badger looks like it's probably going to get out. Lizards aren't a terrible answer to badgers. Is a skunk going to die? One skunk does die. But Z could really be pushing a lot harder after most of these fights. He's definitely winning convincingly at this point. And Z does have the campfire back. He needs to build a statue of whoever was living there, because holy shit, they did so much work for him. That campfire saved him. Like, he would have died in the early game if it not for that campfire. Okay. Cyanide is now starting to take loads of bases and ecoing up, but it's too little too late. He's still just putting down lizards. He's not going to have a good answer to this badger. I don't think his army is so much lower. And that's before the badger even comes out. Now, his army is like a third of what Z's got. Badger is in. Badger is going very far forward, but so far forward that Cyanide didn't even think to attack it, really. Okay. A long game, as neither player was able to land a killing blow, although Cyanide definitely, Z definitely could have. But finally, he finishes off Cyanide. Now we move on to game 2. Lizard, mole, ferret, badger, wolf, balloon coming out from Cyanide. Squirrel, lizard, pigeon, skunk, badger, machine gun from Z. So same loadout from Z. Cyanide running the wolf badger, no squirrels, ferret as his only tier 2. I am curious to see how this works. He tries to mole rush. Gets scouted out. Oh, didn't scout properly. Premature rally there. Yeah. Cyanide could have done a lot differently there. He could have built balloons and blocked him off. He could have gone for a boar. Going for a snake probably would have been fine. He could have poked it down. Could have harassed without risking. He was trying to do poking and harassing, but because he was doing it with his lizards, he was losing more than he was actually killing every fight. So having a snake which wouldn't die when poking would have allowed him to actually profit off it. Is he randoming? No. He randomed into lizard mole twice. Like, the deck seems a bit too similar. Like this seems more of a strategy. Lizard, mole, balloon both times. That feels intentional. Oh, Terminal. Hello. Is that you? Are you Cyanide? Okay, what's he going to do here? Cyanide's got the map advantage again. I bet you could put some... You could do the same thing of pulling down a balloon and then shutting off these mills. It wouldn't work quite as effectively, but it would work. I like that he's taking these campfires. He's got the lizard, so he'll have the map control. And if Z ever tries to go round to kill it, Cyanide just comes straight in. Through the front door. Well, it's not that bad a random deck. It's interesting at the very least. Now, let's see the Ferret poke, because a lot of these Warrens are pretty far forward. Ferret could probably get a lot of work done here. Don't take the lizards, just the ferrets. Just the ferrets. Just ferret. Just ferret. It's like Doki Doki. Just the ferret. Okay, now you're sending the lizards. Okay, the balloon's going up, and I like that. It's gonna give these... Gonna give it a lot of vision. Gonna help these skunks. Okay. Now the ferrets are really starting to get some creeping value. You can push this. He's got a big enough army, and there's not many Warrens around. Z selling all these Warrens is losing him a lot of army, and it's not saving him that much money. He's got a Badger down, but that's probably not going to come out. The turrets won't help against ferrets. He's putting down farms, but that feels more panic than anything else, because he's not going to have time to get the value out of those. And I think this is going to be GG here. The Badger Warren is built, but it's supply blocked. Sell these farms. Go all in on the Badger. Nope. He's going to wait. That's going to delay it by like another 50 minutes. Like 50 seconds. Like, you're basically like adding another 50% time to the tier 3 build. Sell the turrets at least. Come on, the turrets are just going to get blasted down. Maybe not. Come on, 70, 75, 79, 180. The Badger is building. I don't think it can do much against 18 lizards though. And it's going to take quite a bit of damage just from the balloon, as it's the only thing other than those 3 squirrels that can actually shoot up. Like, the Badger might get the first wave, but when the reinforcements come in... Wolf buff lizards. Wolf buff lizards are just going to shred through a Badger so quickly. Okay, most of the lizards are dying here. Turrets go down. Okay, this is your chance. This is Z's chance for a comeback. All the lizards are dead. The wolf goes. He's just got the Badger. He's still massively behind, but he does have a Badger. Weirder things have happened, like Cyanide putting 3 mills down, putting 3 farms down in 1 mill, and then taking another mill and putting down 6 farms. That's pretty weird. I think Z really could have probably pushed there. I don't think Cyanide would have been able to muster up enough forces to actually kill him. To actually kill the Badger. Losing the skunk is a big blow. Like, all of Z's hopes were on his badger now. But now that he's had time to build up an extra clump of lizards, like, the badger just can't do anything. I think maybe if Z had just kept pushing, gone all in on the badger push as soon as it came out, he might have been able to do something. Because if he could get onto the warrens, like, if it's only 1 or 2 lizards, then the badger can deal with them no problem. It's the fact that there's so many of them that, like, that's gonna be his death sentence. And he just let Cyanide rebuild all his lizards. Alright, game 3. Let's see what happens here. Squirrel, pigeon, skunk, snake, wolf, balloon. Against lizard, toad, pigeon, falcon, owl, balloon. So, Z is now the one running no squirrels. I think this map looks pretty reasonable. Mill here, 3 mills here, but close to a high ground. This mill pretty exposed, but also hard to reach. I think this map is fairly fair. Although, with the balloons for Z, if Z gets up a good balloon wall, takes one of these mills and sticks balloons here, he could really do some serious damage to Cyanide. Start building, go hard on economy and start pumping out owls. I mean, maybe? I think lizard only decks are still a risk, but who knows? Alright, Fast Falcon's coming out from Z. Fast Snake's coming out from Cyanide. I think Z is about to go for an owl. Is he? He's looking for somewhere to hide it. He's got a lot of food, okay. He puts down a lizard warren. Okay, more falcons. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the fuck is this owl warren doing right on the front lines? That's 180 food gone. Or not. One tag isn't enough, it looks like. But that squirrel! Oh my god, the hero squirrel! Just gunning it down. Right, I had a text I had to respond to. I looked up and suddenly there was a fucking owl just in the middle of nowhere. I mean, Z won the fight there, but losing that owl warren is a big blow. Why didn't he put it over here? Okay. This isn't ideal territory to be fighting over. These rocks are really going to get in the lizard's way. looks like... Oh, he surrenders. Dimitri's brother. Also called Dimitri. So those were some weird ones. I'd like to see more of them in the future, though, because I like weird games. It's always fun to see people coming back, or people who are new, where they've got like a fresh pair of eyes on the game. Okay, so the Child versus Sergeant Buttersworth. E308. So Sergeant Buttersworth is not running Uncle Butters. Perhaps there is no relation, the name is just similar. You keep doing weird, Terminal. We all like weird. Mishi is weird, Kolaru is weird. You can get high up and still be weird. Okay, so squirrel, lizard, pigeon, mole, falcon, skunk. No spoilers, child. Stop. Charger. Okay, squirrel, lizard, pigeon, cam snake, badger. So I don't know anything about how Sergeant Buttersworth plays, but I know Child is historically very aggressive. Although, going up to 8 farms makes him actually one of the least aggressive players we've seen today. Which is ironic. Like, this isn't even a 5 farm double. Like, it's so greedy to go for 8 farms. Luckily, his opponent was just as greedy. Also going for the 8 farm opening. Genuinely, we've seen a lot of people at least putting down like 1 Warren on 6 farms just to see if they can get anything done. Like, it's actually, this is one of the first games where we've just had everyone get up to 8 farms before they start putting down Warrens. Even some of the ones that did go up to 8 farms at least put down a security Warren. Okay. Child wants to move in. He's got the better army at the moment. Not by a long way. He gets a farm. And he can consider that a win and go back. He sells the moles that were just building. That mole came out just to instantly get turned into food. Oh my god, is that why... Is that why you get the full food back? Because you eat them when you sell them? Like, is that why when you sell something, little food bits pop out? Is that what you're doing? How did I just realise that? Like, I've got over 1,000 hours in this game. How did I just figure that out? Okay, Child coming in again. The lizard, mole, squirrel push. And it's doing pretty well. It's got a good mix of tankiness and DPS. It's getting a lot of farms. I think even if Buttersworth survives, he's probably not going to win this. He has got a chameleon out. He's able to chase off what remains of Child's army. He's got a second mill, but there's only 2 farms on it. Like, that's better than no farms, but Child's got his own mill up, so he should be able to just eco up ahead if he wanted to. But he's not, because he's a child. He's just gonna put down more. Or are we an attack? I reckon. Oh, sorry. Yawning. Quite tired. It was a weird night last night. Expended a lot of energy yesterday. Okay, so just ecoing up now. Getting some tier 2s. I mean 5 farms is... it's okay. It's not what I would have done, but if it works, it works. So Buttersworth has actually managed to creep ahead here. Thanks to Child only going for 5 farms. He's got his economy up. He could make a comeback here if he can hold against this attack. And that's kind of a big if. Oh! Chameleon gets blasted down. I love the play. I didn't even notice that he'd moved his chameleons there, but... unfortunately, they don't get much done, given the size of the army. And it looks like Buttersworth is trying to use his mill tanking to his advantage, but there's just so much stuff on the field. And it turns out 5 farms was enough in the end. But maybe not in the next game. So China takes game 1. Game 2. This looks like similar. Oh, there's no chameleon for Buttersworth this time. There's no badgers. He's actually taken Uncle Butters. Squirrel, lizard, pigeon, skunk, snake, badger, boar. Against Child's army of squirrel, lizard, pigeon, mole, falcon, skunk. Which I think is the same. Buttersworth is a bit harder to attack this time, but I'm sure that won't be a problem for Child. He's got a nice mill here, but after that it's very hard for him to expand. Child is just in the dirt as far as expansion goes. His closest mill is over here, in the middle of the map. This isn't a great map for Child, but given that Child tends to play one base all-ins anyway, I mean, he can probably do this. There is a pathway up here if he wants to use it. Sneak around here maybe. But I don't know if that's really actually that useful. It's possible, but I don't know if it's actually good. Okay, so Child hasn't seen these lizard warrens. Is he going to? Yes. Well, he sees warrens, he doesn't know about the third one, and he doesn't know that they're lizards. I wonder if that will be relevant. Probably not, but it could be. Right. Child's coming in with his own lizards. He might think he has the army advantage here. He doesn't, and yet Buttersworth retreats anyway. Buttersworth, you could have had that fight. Okay, child trying to expand. He's got the lizards, so he's going to have some map presence. So this isn't completely impossible. And Buttersworth is expanding over here. Like, this can't be anything but like a response to this mill. Because it makes so much more sense to expand up here. Now, if Chard was to come up here, he could sneak onto the main base and possibly do some real damage. Also, Buttersworth's still got a couple of squirrels over here. Good, he's rallying them over. Might be a bit late. He's going for 3 farms. It's quite greedy. It's quite a lot of farms. You squirrels going to get here in time? Just about. Okay, it's lizard v lizard and squirrel v squirrel. But the more lizards from Child take it. And he's not... Oh, Buttersworth, you need to sell those farms. Buttersworth doesn't sell the farms. He loses 180 food there. It was a very hard expansion to hold for Buttersworth. I'm surprised he tried it. And I'm very surprised he put so many farms down on it. Generally, if you've got like a mill over on the other side of the map that you're taking for some reason, like just to get the territory and the positioning, you really want to prioritize army so you can defend it. Okay, Child's coming in. Looks like he just wants to go for the mill. He's going for the pigs. It looks like he's going to take this comfortably. He's got a good economic lead now. And I mean, this isn't surprising. Chard's been playing this game pretty continuously for a long time. Sergeant Buttersworth, I think, is probably coming back from a long hiatus period, which is good to see, but it's obviously going to take him a bit of time to work everything out. The game has changed quite a lot. Alright. Child takes it 2-0. So we had... in the first game, Rubbergub won, I'm pretty sure. He got the 5 meat. Then it was Pigston who won, 5 meat. Then it was... oh, I don't remember. Was it Cyanide or Z? It was Z, I think. Yes, it was Z. No! No, it was Cyanide. Because that last game, Cyanide had the... hang on. Was it the last game? I don't remember. Cyanide. I think it was Cyanide. Okay, and then we had Child. Chat is saying Cyanide, so... my memory is apparently not that bad. But here we come. Here's the big one. Don't know what happened to Game 5. Dell probably casted it. Onyx versus Gentleman. Let's see how this goes. And Onyx is actually fighting as Onyx. That in itself is a monumental occasion. No fake name. Just Onyx. Squirrel, lizard, pigeon, falcon, cam, boar. It's squirrel, lizard, pigeon, falcon, cam, wolf. Map-wise, probably Onyx favoured. Slightly. I think it's a bit harder for Gentleman to maybe expand to these two than it is for Onyx to expand to these two. But it's not that big. Gentleman running in his lizards here will probably be able to get some damage done. That would be the ultimate Smurf account name. Onyx. Because no one would know. There are probably a lot of players who have played Onyx and never known, because he's never actually used that name against them. Okay, so Gentleman's expanding where I thought he would. We're seeing lizards come out from Gentleman and squirrels come out from Onyx. Yeah, I need to figure out how to do the emoticons or whatever for those. Okay, here it comes. First engagement. Okay. Gentleman's got cams now. Onyx is going with a Squizzard build, but Gentleman's got his own slight Squizzard. I think the cams should carry this. And they do. And Onyx surrenders right there. I guess he was going to lose that base, and that's quite a big loss against the Gentleman, but still. That was a little bit premature. If that was me who'd won that fight, I don't think he would have surrendered. Do what I'm saying. I think there was a bit of, oh, Gentleman's a good player, I'm not going to come back from this. Some top player privilege there. Alright. Now, this is more what I'm expecting from Onyx. The owl and the machine guns. Onyx, I always expect the owl. I do expect the lizards, though. I'm surprised he cut those. Okay, so Gentleman's running the same deck. Which is surprising. Gentleman likes to, mix up his decks a lot. But I guess mixing up his deck in this case is sticking with the same deck. So, it's a remarkable double bluff. Okay, so Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon, Cam, Owl, Machine Gun. Not a great owl base, to be honest. Onyx doesn't have, Onyx is really hoping for, a choke point that he can just block off. But it's very open. It's much more favoured for Gentleman here. Although Gentleman is going to have a hard time expanding. It's not an obvious expansion point for him. He's taking the one in the top. And without lizards, Onyx can't really pressure it too well. so quick 2 farms from Gentleman. That's how he likes to play when he expands. He puts 2 farms down. Okay, Onyx is now expanding down to the south. Getting a second set of cams. Well, you played it, Onyx. You wanted me to cast a more exciting game, then you should have done bigger plays like this. Standing the cams, putting down an owl warren. That's the sort of shit we're after. Okay, is Onyx going to put down machine guns? Because I think 17 lizards might overrun it here. Okay, the base goes down, but Onyx doesn't really care. Hello, Dino. It's more like a fake base. It's a decoy base. So he can get up his tier 3 unmolested. It will be big if he can get this owl up. It's also big that Gentleman hasn't scouted it. It's about to be built. I always think that the tipping point for tier 3 rushes. One base tier 3, if you get the tier 3 unit building, like the warren complete and the unit itself actually building before your opponent scouts it, then it's a good tier 3 rush. Because your opponent doesn't really have time to tech swap at that point, or eco up. Oh Jesus, that's a loud alert. This owl is nearly done. Gentleman still hasn't scouted it. There, he scouts it now, but it's not far off. Now, 36 lizards. I mean, he could always base trade. That's why Onyx is taking risky bases like this. Okay, this owl, oh, this owl's going down, this owl's going down. Oh, too many lizards. Don't surrender, though. Don't surrender. Is that it? That's the big game we were saving up for. Oh, Onyx. You disappoint us. Probably needed to just have some more. I don't think you had all your mice when you went in. And you kind of pulled the owl away from your army. But yeah, that deck was that map was bad. But the map was bad. The map was bad for Gentleman, but he had a deck that could more easily like you know, cover those weaknesses with the fast lizards. Whereas the owl is really relying on, you know, some nice defendable locations and a lot of eco. So, yeah. So that's it then. That's the stream. It's a bit disappointing that the big game ended up being not that big, but Map Gen wasn't feeling particularly gracious. And we had some interesting games in the air with the returning veterans. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. I need to do some revision that I've been putting off all day. Ah, that's the birth of Map Gen is Cancer. Fair enough. Thank you for coming, everybody. When is the next episode? Let me just get that up. Next episode is going to be on Wednesday. at 7 PM CET. And that's going to be done by Jet Erickson. Then we got Friday, 6 PM EST for Delphius. And then me at 7 PM next Saturday. Alright. So, head over to Jetstream on Wednesday. Also sign up with his tournament on Challenge or Discord. And until then, have a nice night. I think, is there anyone I can... I'll send you over to say hi to Strawberry. Alright. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Toodles.